Hey B Words, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about some things that I wish I'd known before I did my first fat loss phase. Fair warning, the tips in this video are going to be mainly mindset based. If you're looking for actually how to conduct a fat loss phase, I already have a video where I go over that. Watch that video first and then come back to this one. Let's just jump right in. Number one, it's going to be really important for you to get used to calorie counting and to strength training before you go into a calorie deficit. Most of us are eager and impatient. And for most of us, our physical appearance is a very emotional thing for us. If you're anything like me, it's something that I was self-conscious about my entire life. So for a lot of us, when we decide to lose weight, we immediately want to start seeing results. Like we want it to happen fast. So I'll get clients, they get on a call and they're like, okay, I want to lose weight. Let's jump right in. When can we start? Can we start tomorrow? And I'm like, hold your horses. Because going straight into a calorie deficit after having no background of really exercising or eating well, it's kind of like skipping kindergarten and jumping straight into college. You know what I mean? Like you're skipping a lot of very crucial steps that need to be in place before you can get to the juicy stuff. I always remember the Karate Kid and how in the beginning, his sensei or whatever, I don't even know, I've never actually seen the movie. I just have seen clips of it, okay? But I just remember the Karate Kid feeling frustrated because he was like, I want to learn how to do karate. And before his master or whatever could even teach him how to do karate, he first had to teach him what felt like a lot of useless stuff. But really what he was doing is building up his patience, his resilience, his character skills, the habit of showing up consistently before the Karate Kid would be ready to even benefit from the karate training. Before you can be ready to even benefit from being in a calorie deficit, you actually have to have some type of consistency. You actually have to know how to show up for yourself when shit gets hard, when shit hits the fan, right? Because if you don't even know how to show up and you immediately jump into a deficit, what are the odds that you're actually going to stick to that deficit? 0 to none, right? That's what I explain to my clients. You hired a coach for a reason because the way that you were doing it before wasn't working. Trust me, bitch. It's going to be really important for you to be able to say, calorie counting actually feels kind of easy. And for you to be able to say, strength training is a part of my life now and I love it. Once it becomes habit, once it becomes mindless to show up to the gym and track your calories and know what you're consuming, then you are so ready for a fat loss phase because all you have to do after that point is slowly decrease your calories. That's it. That's probably the most important point. The second thing that I wish I knew, start with food very high and start with cardio very low, because here's the thing. Most people don't have a problem with eating less and moving more for a short period of time. Because the reality is that you can do anything for a short period of time. The problem is that when it comes to long-term fat loss that you lose and then you keep off forever, you need to be able to sustain a calorie deficit for longer than a short period of time. We're looking at something closer to 3 months at a time. And so if you start a deficit with your food at 900 calories and your steps at 20,000 calories, this is most likely not going to be sustainable for that full 12-week period. And even if it is sustainable for that full 12-week period, as soon as that period is over, you're going to fall off. Your metabolism has already gone to shit because you're way under eating and way over moving. And then suddenly you stop moving and you start eating exactly what you were eating before. You're creating a perfect ecosystem for you to gain weight. So if you're intelligent, you start your food high so that as you get deeper and deeper into a fat loss phase, you can slowly decrease food, and you start your steps low so that as you get further and further into the fat loss phase, you can start increasing your steps, right? And that's kind of how we'll break through plateaus as well. If you don't already know what a reverse diet is, basically it's this thing that you do that helps you lose fat while eating more food and doing less exercise. I will link videos that I've already made talking about reverse dieting. Do that, bitch, before you go into your first fat loss phase. Thank you. So the hard part of the cut really doesn't happen until the second half of the cut. And then at that point, you only have 6 weeks left and you can do anything for 6 weeks. The third thing that I wish I'd known before I'd done a fat loss phase is I wish someone would have told me that it's going to be a lot easier to track calories if I eat very simply and if I eat the same things on rotation. Now, here's the thing. You don't have to do it this way, okay? You don't have to eat simply. You can make your meal super elaborate, super delicious with multiple ingredients. You can change things up every day. However, it is a lot more tedious to track calories, just from the simple fact that you have to do it more. If every day you eat something different and every day you have to find a different data entry to put into the calorie counting app, it just gets really tedious, bro. It gets fucking exhausting. You know what is really easy to do? Meal prep twice a week, once or twice a week. I like to meal prep twice because I don't like 7-day food. That's fucking nasty. So I'll meal prep once or twice a week, and I'll literally input all of my food and all of my calories for essentially the entire week. So all I have to do is grab my food and go. I don't have to think about tracking. I don't have to crunch the numbers when I'm already exhausted and I have a million other things on my mind and a million other things to do. I keep my food simple. And again, the hard part about fat loss is adherence. It just makes it easier to adhere because it's mindless. I had one client that was like, can you make this as mindless as possible for me? To a point, we definitely can, basically, make it mindless if you just have the systems and the preparation in place. So I stand behind meal prepping. And then every week you can kind of change what you're eating as well. So it's not like you're eating the same things all the time, but you're just decreasing the variance in your diet just a little, okay? Just to make it easier to track. The fourth thing I wish I knew, girl, it is gonna feel like nothing is happening for the first 6 weeks. I try to lose about 0.5 pound to 1 pound per week. So by the time I'm in week 3 or 4 of the cut, I should only be down like at most 3 pounds. 3 pounds isn't going to look very different on your body, okay? But if I persist on to week 6, I'm going to be down a full 6 pounds, let's say, give or take. That's when my body actually starts to look cool and things actually start to look interesting. You're not going to look very different 3 pounds up versus 3 pounds down. Unless you're like super lean, but we're not, obviously. We're like general population. So the question that I have for you is, are you able to trust the process and keep chipping away, keep weighing yourself daily, keep showing up to your cardio sessions, keep showing up and tracking your food? Are you able to sustain that blindly without having any changes to your body until week 6? Because to be honest, if you do a fat loss phase and you don't even give yourself at least 6 weeks, you stopped before you even gave yourself a chance to see anything actually happen. So yeah, go into it mentally preparing. The first 6 weeks will feel monotonous. The first 6 weeks will be discouraging. It will feel like nothing is happening. My job is to tunnel vision, stick to the commitment that I made to myself, stick to the promise that I made to myself. I'm gonna count my calories and follow the protocol for 12 weeks. The end result is none of my business. I made a promise to myself and that's what I'm honoring. That's it. The end result is none of my business. If you can convince yourself of that, let me move my hair. If you can convince yourself of that, to just be a fucking woman of your fucking word and do what you said you were going to do, even if you don't get to the end result, you're simply just going to make the commitment to stick to it for 12 weeks. Dude, you're going to go further than you ever thought was possible. And you're going to enjoy it more because you're not going to be focusing on the end result. You're going to be focusing on keeping the day-to-day promises that you made to yourself. Because you are a person of character and of integrity. And if you don't have your word, you literally have nothing. I think learning that changed my fucking life. If I don't keep my word, I have nothing. If I'm not someone who is dependable, I'm not someone who I can't depend on myself like that. Thinking about it now blows my mind. Mo, come here. The fifth thing I wish I knew. My weight on the scale that I'm tracking every day is only a singular data point. And if I am intelligent and if I am smart, I will consider all of the other data points before I make a change to my protocol. No intelligent individual doing something worth doing is going to jump ship or completely change the plan because of a singular data point. Let that sink in. Are you a dumbass? Or are you a person who thinks and uses logical reasoning? It does not make statistical sense to abandon ship and completely change your protocol because of one data point. It doesn't even make sense to do that for 2 data points. Now, if you have 2 weeks of consistent data and it's showing a trend, that's when you can change your protocol. So sometimes I'll have clients who are kind of like freaking out because of their daily weight fluctuations. And they'll be like, oh, can we change this and this and this? Can we bump up my cardio to this? Can we lower my food to this? And I'm like, girl, the moment we start changing the protocol at random is the moment that you already lost. You already failed the plan because you are not thinking logically. You are setting yourself up for failure. There is a reason why we do weekly check-ins, and there is a reason why we revisit the plan and we revisit the protocol and we update the protocol once a week, if necessary, right? Usually I don't change protocol once a week. Usually we do check-ins weekly, but we don't change protocol usually more frequently than like every 2 to 4 weeks for most people. Because most people don't see a plateau until they're like several weeks in. Not only that, but the number on the scale isn't telling you only how much fat you are gaining or losing. It is telling you how much water you are gaining or losing, how much poop is in your gut, how much poop are you gaining or losing, how much food are you gaining or losing. So you're telling me that you're going to change your entire protocol because of one data point that you're not even sure what the data point is telling you. You're not even sure if your weight increased because you gained fat, food, poop, or water? That doesn't make any sense. That's not logical. You're reacting on your emotions. So yeah, you must consider the other data points. Okay, my weight is up, but did I check my boxes? My weight is up, but did I get enough sleep? My weight is up, but did I drink enough water? Did I eat off plan? Did I consume too much sodium? Am I stressed the fuck out? Am I about to get my period? All of these things need to be considered before a change is made to the protocol. Moving on. The fifth thing I wish I knew before I did my first fat loss phase, aim to lose about 1% of your body weight per week. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you could stand to lose 2 pounds per week at most. At most. Currently, I weigh 140 pounds as of this morning. So the most I would want to lose is 1.4 pounds per week, and that's on the aggressive end. So most of the time, I'm looking to lose anywhere between half a pound to 1 pound per week. And as you would imagine, if the number on the scale can fluctuate anywhere between 1 to 5 pounds on any given day, again, because of water, poop, and food, how do we know if we're losing a pound or half a pound per week? Like, how do you even measure that? If my weight is going like this, that's what you should expect. You base this off of weekly averages. So that's why I said you can't base it off of a single data point. You got to ask yourself, is my weekly average this week compared to last week lower, the same, or higher? And that's kind of how you know how to do that. So yeah, it is really fucking slow. Buckle up, sister. Enjoy the ride. Because if all you're focused on is the physical changes and all you're focused on is the number on the scale dropping, you're going to hate it here. You're probably going to fail, honestly. You're probably going to jump ship. Number 7, comparing daily data points is like comparing apples to oranges versus comparing weekly averages is comparing apples to apples. It's not fair to compare what you weighed in on Monday to what you weighed in on Friday. You have to compare Monday to Monday, Friday to Friday, Wednesday to Wednesday. Does that make sense? You have to zoom out and compare weekly. What I usually tell people is Monday, our weigh-ins tend to be the highest. And then, at least for me, and then it gets progressively lower until Friday. If you're just a lifestyle client, you're most likely allowing yourself a little bit more leeway over the weekends for like a free meal or two. So what I notice is that, again, the cycle will repeat. My weigh-in is the highest on Monday, and then it continues to drop. So this pattern repeats. Does that make sense? But even though my Monday is higher than my Friday, it's still lower than the previous Monday. Does that fucking make sense? The last thing I'll say, stress can make or break the type of fat loss phase that you have. And that's why people get coaches, because if you get a coach, you don't have to think about what to do. You just have to do it. The less thinking, the less ruminating, the less dwelling, the less processing you can do, and the more you can just fucking get it done, the better off you're going to be, right? Because the more we're thinking about it and overanalyzing and worrying about it, it's almost like the more we're opening ourselves up to self-sabotage. Bitch, we are so dumb. We can talk ourselves out of anything. We can literally come up with the hairiest, craziest narrative that when we like say it out loud to someone else, they're like, girl, what the fuck are you talking about? To convince ourselves why we shouldn't finish and go through with what it is that we're trying to do. I think the reason for that is just how our minds have been wired. It's like that cliche, better the devil you know. It's almost like we would rather sabotage where at least we can control the outcome versus sticking with something blindly, just trusting it wholeheartedly at the chance that it could not work out. So if you're somebody who is still struggling with your body image, or a lot of your self-worth is still tied to your body size, or like it's almost like a lot of pressure is riding on you to finish this fat loss phase in time so that you can look good in Cancun, the more tension and the more resistance you're going to be creating within your fat loss journey. The more you can go into a fat loss journey with curiosity of, I know I'm strong, I know I'm capable, I love how consistent I've been in the gym, I love how consistent I've been with food. Now I just want to see what happens when I try this challenge. I'm going to challenge myself and see what can come from it. With zero expectations about how much you should lose, how quickly you should lose, or if you lose anything at all, the more you're just going to allow this fat loss phase to flow for you. Like, I don't know if y'all believe in spirituality or in like energies and bullshit like that, but I totally do. And I definitely believe that we subconsciously can create resistance in moving towards the things that it is that we want and desire. And if you can get to the bottom of what that resistance is, where that self-sabotage is coming from, what is it that you're lacking emotionally that you're using this fat loss phase to kind of like latch onto, to have control over something, then you're going to be better off. So that's probably also the most important tip, is figure out whatever you got to figure out in here before doing a fat loss phase. It should be fun. It should be a nice challenge. It should be a happy addition to your life, not something that's bringing you stress, emotional turmoil, anxiety, you know what I mean, worry. Have fun with it. Oh my God, like literally, we live in a fucking first world country where we are so blessed and well off that we can, on purpose, starve ourselves in order to achieve a desired appearance. Girl, this is the least of our worries, girl. You know what I mean? Like, have fun with it. This is supposed to be fun. Bodybuilding is supposed to be fun. Shaping your body is supposed to be fun. All right. Oh my God, I'm really happy with how this video turned out. I can already tell it's going to be a good one. If you found this helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe so that I know that you want to keep seeing me. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.